Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back. Today, GGG is putting out their 0.1.1 patch to Path of Exile 2, so I just want to quickly go over some of the changes that they're doing. The game has been out for about a month and 10 days now, and this will be the second patch that we've received in the game, and the first big endgame patch that we've all been looking forward to. I know there's a lot of big changes people have been wanting to see, so I quickly went through and took some notes on what I think are the key changes here. But as always, if you're interested in the patch and you want to see exactly what's going on, check the link down in the description. You'll be able to go through and see exactly what changes are made because these are some big patch notes. The first big change that they made is a lot of people were complaining about the towers, right? A little boring. The layouts weren't too bad. I mean, they were quick to do, so I didn't really complain just because, you can run through them pretty fast, but they were boring. So I would love to see bosses added to them. We don't have that quite yet, but what they did add was 4 new tower maps while also revamping the OG tower. So hopefully those new tower maps are going to be good and the revamped tower is a little bit straighter. I think people really just want to run in a straight line and kill ads. Um, I wasn't complaining too much about the original layout. It was more just the lack of stuff to do, and running in rooms blind is always not good. Arbiter fight now has 6 portals. I know for me personally, I died twice on him because I did him blind, and I farmed up all my own fragments to get into the fight, tried out the fight, and he did that attack where he has. It's dumb because, like, we're trained in Path of Exile to go into the circles, and then he does this attack where he puts a circle on the ground, you stand in it, and then he nukes the circle once, and then you're supposed to wait outside the circle, watch him nuke, and then dodge roll in before it nukes outside the circle. But yeah, I couldn't do it. So I failed twice. Third time will be the charm, I'm sure. So yeah, they've decided to add 6 portals to the Arbiter fight. You get less portals as you go up in tiers. So +4, I'm guessing, is just 1 portal. But cool change, allows people to kind of learn the fight, go back in. The boss health does reset if you die. So you have 6 portals, but you will have to complete the fight in 1 portal. Checkpoints were added to map areas. Didn't see much people talking about that, but that could actually be pretty cool. Hopefully that helps with backtracking, things like that. Maps have minimum 3 rare monsters. I don't know about you guys, but I've had maps where I've ran in, killed the first rare, and it said map completed. So that's a little bit boring, you know? So nice that they actually have a minimum that's a bit higher now. Citadels appear closer to the start of the zone, so another good change. Beacons of light show citadels in fog. This one is huge. This one is really, 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 really making me want to log in. Because before we're all going a bit random trying to find the citadels, but now that we're able to see them in the distance and path straight to them, I'm going to be hunting down some citadels, that's for sure. Maps display biome when you hover now. I know a lot of people were kind of wondering, like, oh, what biome was it? What biome was that? What? And you're trying to guess. Some of them are more obvious than the others, like the desert biomes, things like that, but it can be tough, like the swamp biome. What's swamp? What's forest? So nice to see that. Maps now have way more monsters. So in the patch notes, there is tons of changes. You can feel free to go through, but uh, number of maps now contain 50% more magic monsters, 50% more rare monsters. A number of maps now have a minimum number of rare monsters, tons of stuff. So they're looking to beef up the maps, have them be a little bit more full. Breach monsters were nerfed by 15%, but if you were watching the live stream, they mentioned that Breach was actually spawning more monsters than could even spawn in the instance, and they were getting a lot of errors, basically saying that could not spawn monster because there wasn't enough room. So they're saying basically with this 15% nerf that you probably won't even notice the amount of breach monsters. They'll just get less errors. So hopefully breach is still the same on the lower end. You can now zoom out the map to match controller. Very nice. I don't have to scroll wheel escape anymore. Fire the Storm can no longer trigger subsequent greater lightning bolts on crits. That was basically the interaction that was allowing Temporalis and Acquire the Storm to be just the ultimate blink AoE nuking machine with infinite damage. So yeah, I mean, we all knew this was coming. Temporalis can no longer reduce cooldowns below 100 milliseconds. Lots of monster changes. Again, make sure you go check out the patch notes if you're wanting to know exactly what was changed. It's a lot of things that people were complaining about, and also changes to different monsters individually, and just tweaks that they're making. So again, if you're wanting to know, check it out. You can now migrate leagues. I know a lot of people were asking about that. Hey, I started SSF, but my friends are in trade. I want to go play with them and do kind of like a friend SF league where we only trade with each other. Now you can do that. Strong boxes are better. They're making them spawn faster, have less smoke, more enemies. So hopefully they're actually fun to play now rather than just kind of a drag that you run by. Charms display the number of charges and when they're active. Great change, because I remember the first time I looked at the charms, I was like, do these, like, how do we know when they're being used? I don't even know what's happening. So it's a good change. You can now resocket runes. Just that is going to be such a big change for, I think, leveling characters. There was definitely several times I can think of during the campaign where I would have loved to change the resistance modifiers on my gear, but because I couldn't resocket runes, I wasn't able to do that. So now you can. Omens and rituals were increased, I believe, in the stream. They said by about 60%. So hopefully we're seeing a lot more of the rare omens in our rituals. Expedition vendor rarity increased with level now. So the higher level you get, the better gear you will see in the vendor, which is nice because right now expedition vendors are a little lacking. Improved loading time of the map. That's pretty nice because there were some times where I would go to the map device or, press U while I'm running through the campaign, and it does seem to take a little bit longer than you would like. That's a great change. You can now gamble with Alva and Hideout. On launch, there was some type of bug where people were able to get infinite items or something like that. So it's a great change because now I don't have to leave my hideout to go do it. Uncut gems show level on item label. That's actually really nice because I know most people probably have uncut gems hidden, but when you're kind of into the end game and you're looking to save maybe the 17s and the 18s and the 19s, you won't have to hover over them to see what it actually is. It'll just show it when it drops. Original Sin got an incredible change. This was part of a sweeping change to uniques. So there is a massive list of unique items. If there's a unique that you use in your build, I would Control F, search for it, and see what changes were made to it, because there is a lot of uniques. It's not just the 8 that they showed during the stream. And one of those big changes that they made is to Original Sin. Originally, it said that your chaos resistance is now 0, basically eliminating non-CI builds from using the Original Sin ring. And now it was changed to give you chaos resist. So now life builds are also going to be able to use Original Sin. Great change. Lots of bug fixes in general as well. Just a massive list. It's early access. We're still early on, so there's lots of stuff, bugs that were happening. An example would be like being able to blink out of the ziggurat camp. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but you can actually just blink out of it and blink all the way over to the other instance where you're in the past. So I don't think that actually, stuff like that doesn't actually hurt anything, and you can't do anything with it, but it's good to nip those bugs in the butt. There was a nerf to all concoction skills. So concoction skills got pretty nerfed. There is a bug. They fixed a bug where concoction skills were considered bow skills, and as a result, could be affected by increased damage with bow skills on quivers. Now, I have a +2 quiver with increased damage with bow skills and crit chance, and I have another +2 quiver by itself. And when I put on just the +2 quiver, my damage dropped by 50%. So now that's the crit chance also dropping off by a lot. But man, this feels like a pretty heavy nerf, especially when there are no other nerfs in this. Really sucks. Hopefully we're able to scale up that concoction damage another way. I'm sure we'll find a way to do it, whether it's just stacking bow effect jewels, or it could be stacking wither effect jewels as well. Get that wither effect up really high. So I'll have to see what happens there. But yeah, it's really looking like concoctions took the brunt of the changes. Bit annoying as I'm currently playing Peaconk and SSF. I was respecking to a monk, so like a attribute stacking monk. So I'd have to do that sooner than later. But yeah, we'll see how the bossing feels when we log back into play. Lots of controller improvements. Again, you can come down here and look. I don't play controller, so I don't really know too much about what the issues were or what's going on or what need to be fixed. I'm assuming it's a lot of kind of like targeting and clicking buttons and things to do with the menu, but make sure you read through and find out exactly what they changed. Console item filters are now in the game and working with the patch, so you should be able to go on to the Path of Exile website, subscribe to a filter, and then go in game and turn that filter on, and it'll work for you. It's really nice. And last but not least, enabled a bunch of MTX. What a great little bonus. You know, they already did just this massive patch for us to fix a bunch of things and add to the end game and do stuff. And they didn't forget about, you know, adding in a little bit of MTX. Everyone loves MTX. I'd love to be able to equip a few of my old stuff from PoE 1 and PoE 2. Getting some things drip fed throughout the early access feels good. And the Hands of Zest back attachment, which I know for sure was a drop for the early access announcement stream, now has a smaller variant which can be selected. So I might actually try that, because the massive hands floating behind you were a little crazy, but having, you know, just a little pair of hands, that could be cool. Hope you guys are enjoying Path of Exile 2, and especially with this patch. Hope we all have a lot of fun. I can't wait to get on and kind of blast straight to Citadels and get some more runs of the Arbiter. But that's all for me for now, and I'll see you guys in the next one.